Oh, right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to Why I Returned to Russia After 20 Years in Germany. Jump in.
By his parents from Russia to Germany. And there he lived for 20 years. In Europe, he studied and worked, started a family, and eventually managed to build a successful life. But his Russian soul was always yearning for his homeland. In 2021, he made a serious but well-considered decision to return to Mother Russia. Today, Roman helps his fellow countrymen with the big move back and interviews those who have also decided to take this difficult step. Hello, friends, and hello, Roman.
Hello.
I'm glad to meet you. You know, Roman, because I've been living in Russia for a long time and I have an obvious, strong accent, people ask me the same question almost every day. Why did you come to Russia? After all, everything is better there. Everything is great there. Now it happens less often, but it still happens. That's why I invited you to this new program. Why? Because you spent, as I understand it, 20 years ago, you voluntarily left for Germany. Then after 20 years later, you voluntarily left again, but to come back here. That's why I want to know your story.
Thanks for the invitation. It's very interesting to talk about this topic. My parents took me with them, actually, so I didn't go to Germany entirely voluntarily.
Oh, then it wasn't entirely voluntary.
It was semi-forced, let's say. So I think that any teenager, I had just turned 14 then, hardly any teenager would want to say goodbye to their friends.
Well, of course.
And to move somewhere and study in a foreign language.
That is, at school you were the only kid like you, but it seems to me that there would be several of you.
There were 4 Russian speakers in my class together with me. There were foreigners who were already integrated or even second-generation immigrants who were born there. These are the children of Spaniards, Italians, and Turks who had already been born there. For example, during recess, people went out to the schoolyard. Russians hung out with Russians from different classes, Germans with Germans, Turks with Turks. In general, there were such subgroups of people.
Why did your parents specifically leave at that moment in history? Because they survived the Yeltsin period and maybe saw that some of the minor improvements were beginning in Russian society. Why did they choose this place? Or was there some kind of job offering or something specific? Why?
Actually, by and large, I think it was all based on the myth of the wealthy West. Roughly speaking, everything related to movies. Also, I believe that any Volkswagen on CIS roads at that time was an advertisement for the wealthy West. I think these are myths familiar to everyone in the CIS about Germany, that everything is high quality, clean, Ordnung, order, and everyone lives richly, everyone lives well.
Was there such real wealth back then? Was it justified or was it a lie from the beginning?
I think we arrived exactly when it all started rapidly coming to an end. We arrived in 2000, and I believe that was the beginning.
So what do you mean, like rapidly coming to an end? What does he mean by that?
Beginning of the end. Well, although this end continues to stretch until now, it's getting worse and worse. Roughly speaking, everything related to migration policy was conceived very correctly. The idea was good, but how it was implemented and continues to be implemented today, it's all done very poorly, judging by the results. And those people who work, Germans who pay taxes, naturally, they are absolutely demoralized by the fact that these taxes are not going where they should. And in the end, despite all their efforts, they still get poorer. Yes, and the gap between rich and poor keeps widening. What used to be only in Eastern Europe, yes, according to general statistics, is now in Western Europe too. That is, there wasn't such division before. Moreover, this layer of the good old German middle class is getting thinner and thinner.
And my question is, why? Why is that? Why is it just get thinner and thinner and thinner? What's the reason behind it?
When has it ever happened that an ordinary representative of the German middle class complained about food prices? This is a shame for Western Europe, for the old world, for this economy that has been established for 85 years. It's simply a disgrace. It nullifies and devalues everything they did in previous decades and what their parents did. All of this today is multiplied by zero thanks to this absolutely talentless, absolutely destructive modern policy. And the people who are moving there for permanent residence today are absolutely crazy, again, in my opinion. You'd have to be absolutely out of touch with reality, absolutely not sober-minded. It's no secret that Germany is a small country in terms of area, and population density is therefore quite high, especially in Western Germany, in its developed part. If you take North Rhine-Westphalia up to Northern Rhine-Westphalia, there are too many people, and there wasn't such good control of this immigration. Therefore, there are people who posed as Syrian refugees who aren't actually Syrian refugees. We don't know who these people are. Sadly, only today, unfortunately, from these horrifying news reports can we only assume who might have come.
Yeah, that's how it is over there, man. That's how it is. I think this is so different between Eastern Europeans and the West European is this mindset. Right, it's the mindset of
this is actually a real threat, a real danger, and we need to understand one small thing. They're going crazy there. Even if someone isn't yet a criminal, one thing is criminals who came and mixed in with migration under the guise of simple refugees. That's one story. But even if someone isn't yet a criminal but potentially holds some aggression in a country like Germany,
Because strangers are everywhere.
yes, and it's a system where this person cannot live by such rules. There isn't the kind of freedom that they need simply based on their requirements.
And this is why we've been talking about, as I've mentioned in many interviews, that freedom is when we are in harmony with society and those around us.
Right. Golden words.
So they come.
Yeah, he's American. I can tell by his accents. He's right. I think freedom. People confuse freedom for simply saying like, freedom if you are allowed to do whatever the hell you want. It's not. It's not like that. It's just making sure that we have a cohesive society and we can just have the liberty of just pursue our happiness. Meaning have our family, contribute to society without the restriction of having a gun in your head. For a lot of these people that come from these countries, they don't understand this concept. So we try to mix cultures that are not even congruent with the Western culture. Or Europe,
probably for
overall.
benefits or money or wealth, but then they find themselves in some kind of Euro prison.
Yep.
Why do we love this order, these repressive laws so much, while we talk about being so free?
Good point.
We all do this, and I don't know why. I can't understand it myself. In the U.S., we're proud of having such a free country, but if you don't mow your lawn, fines upon fines are laid on you. If a neighbor hears something at night, they'll call the police right away. I was born in an area where mostly African Americans live, and African Americans have one plus. Nobody calls the police ever. Ever.
Yep.
Someone fired a shot, bang, there's a body lying there, no need to call.
Good point.
If they're white neighbors, it's hell, because for any violation, yes, any small violation, we're punished.
Yep.
In Russia, this doesn't exist. People also don't want to rat each other out or jump on someone who just violated some meaningless law. German people love to build this. What did you call it? Order in German? Ordnung. So why do we want this?
If we take Ordnung, order in the right connotation, if we keep it in balance, it's a wonderful thing. It's like a fairy tale. It's very good. It's a concept of proper living. For example, we had mailboxes in our apartment building in Germany, and when I moved into my new apartment, I put a sticker on my mailbox. I ordered this sticker on eBay. Don't put advertising flyers in. Then one day I come in and see the Hausmeister, the building manager, peeling off my sticker from the mailbox. I say, well, what's going on? Why are you removing my sticker? I just wanted to stop getting ads. She says, your intention was basically right, but think about it. If everyone orders different stickers from eBay or buys them in stores and sticks them on, all the stickers on mailboxes will be different. That's a mess. I will order identical stickers for all residents, and whoever wants one can put it up.
Yes, this is one of the reasons why I live in Russia.
Yes, yes. But, excuse me, if you think about it, just like the city's design code, for example, we all remember what chaos there was in Moscow in the early 2000s. Random advertising was hanging all over the Garden Ring. Now our city is 100 times more beautiful, better. Why? Because there's a specific design code, there's a standard.
So when was your breaking point? When did you not want to go back?
I was born in Kharkov, and from 96 to 99 we temporarily lived in Russia, including in Siberia. But why specifically Moscow? People often ask me this too, because Moscow obviously is clearly the center of gravity for the Russian world.
Yes, there's always work available.
And to answer your question, I always wanted to come here. And I didn't like Germany right from the start. But the idea that I could actually move to Russia probably came when I first started making decent money, when I grew up there and got on my feet, when I realized, okay, everything can be solved. I understand how. And then I realized that if such an opportunity exists, thank God it should be taken. The sooner the better. We moved to Moscow in 2021.
I haven't mentioned what you did for work all those years in Germany. What's your profession?
Let me tell you this. In Germany, I was basically studying most of the time, for the most part, because, well, that's how it was done there. I don't know.
Is that a common practice there?
You can study endlessly, and that's one of the advantages.
Well, that's very good, because you're getting that knowledge, right? You're preparing yourself. And he looks like a very smart guy. He looks like a very smart guy.
I took breaks. I was a private entrepreneur. Today, they say, individual entrepreneur. I had a small company, first one, then another. I worked in marketing and sales. I studied economics.
I was about to say,
Did you
he looked like a marketing sales guy. He had the hands, right? You can see in the hands, body language, crossing his legs, his fingers. He has a very good body language.
Somehow transfer your business to Russia?
No.
Did you simply abandon it?
Yes, of course.
Well, that must have been hard. You put in a lot of effort, and it looked like it was profitable. So how'd you do it?
Indeed, yes, you have to give up certain things. In a way, it's important to understand that there is a bit of downshifting involved, just a bit. Because there I drove a Mercedes E-Class, and here I ride an electric bus. Well, okay, there's a little downshifting, yes, but it's worth it. Because even the material values and comfort we're used to can't compare to what's in your soul. It's better to be happy on an electric bus than unhappy in a BMW 7 Series. A person who can learn, who can develop, will find their place in Russia, will find their place in 3 days.
Interesting.
Russia is an entire world. It's limitless in its opportunities, in its potential. A level-headed person, a normal one, who can somehow express themselves in Russian, even just a little bit, will realize their potential here and earn their living.
You were an employer and businessman in Germany back then. How much do taxes strangle you there? Because 2 Frenchmen told me that if a person earns not very much money, let's say 10,000 euros a month, which isn't much from a business perspective, they take 80% of your money in taxes.
No
80.
way. No way. No
How
way. That's crazy. 80% of taxes?
How is it in Germany?
This is a very painful question, because for many this issue became so acute that even people who love Germany have left. What's the problem? Germans try to take as much as possible from a person in taxes as much as they can. If someone is more compliant, they'll squeeze more out of them. I remember we had a teacher at school who said, "Tax evasion is our national sport." That's what he said.
Yeah, wow.
Although the legislation is very harsh. So, tax evasion is an art. If you do it ungracefully, incorrectly, you'll be imprisoned. They'll take everything from you.
Wow.
And what Germans love to do, by the way, this is for naive citizens. Some people come, maybe from the Middle East, they're very enterprising, but they underestimate Germans. They open a restaurant, a pizzeria, a sushi place. Doesn't matter what they do, and their income is good. Indians do this too. And they think everything's fine. I pay as much as I think is necessary, like with receipts, second cash register, this and that. Germans don't react at all, don't react at all. They wait until he buys a house, until he buys a car, until he accumulates some capital, some assets.
Yeah,
And then, bam!
Full force.
and then that's when they take you. Boom, wow.
They multiply a person by 0. They leave them exactly enough to survive. At best, enough to keep their business afloat, but they take away everything else or it's off to prison. Choose as you wish. I'll never forget, I once read a German forum and some German wrote there, it stuck in my memory. I paid my taxes and I'm still walking around with holes in my teeth because I can't afford dental care because I paid all my taxes. That's how he wrote it, literally like that. Just think about how easy it is here, how minimal this tax is. It's a fairy tale for any entrepreneur.
That's also a somewhat debatable question about wealth, because when I bought my small house, it was a bit crappy. I renovated it myself the hard way. And well, I had a paid-off house when I was 37 years old. I think this would be a rarity in Germany or the US.
As far as I know, up to 60% of citizens in Germany live in rental properties,
yeah.
and that's surprising.
Yeah, that a lot of people over there live in rent. I'm gonna leave the link in the description down below. That way you can just follow the original content creator. But this is the difference between the Western world. The Western world has decided to just put a lot of high taxes, especially in Europe. That's how they like to live, I guess. I would love to know what you guys' opinion regarding this will be. In the meantime, guys, I'll see you next one.